spectacular, and T. Higgins is no joke either. But having those requisite weapons was incredibly important. And the Cincinnati Bengals, notoriously cheap and ill-managed as far as I'm concerned, went out there and did exactly what he wanted them to do. Plus, their defense is horrid. And so that's going to put even more pressure on him just to keep them relevant. You juxtapose that to Jayden Daniels. You're entering your second year in the league. You were absolutely spectacular in your first year in the league. We understand that. In a lot of people's eyes, you elevated the level of expectations because as good as you are, nobody expected you to be that great that soon, but you still need help. And when you've got McLaurin out there looking for a new contract and still some questions on the offensive side of the ball because you're devoid of real studs outside of him, then how much can you really expect from Jayden Daniels? You still expect him to be good, but you also understand you're a second-year player. There's a cushion that you have available for you where there's going to be some level of understanding for any struggles that may come about. In the case of Joe Burrow, nobody wants to hear that, especially our man CC, Chris Canty. Don't get to unsportsman like, good Lord have mercy. Don't let Joe Burrow go out there and struggle. And then America got to turn on their radio, on ESPN radio, and listen to this brother Canty get all on Joe Burrow, because I assure America right now, and for the city of Cincinnati, there is no critic worse than Chris Canty when Chris Canty locks in on Joe Burrow. There is no analyst. I don't give a damn. You can pick the beat writer for the Cincinnati Bengals. You could bring the radio host. You could bring the play-by-play guy. There is nobody that is watching Joe Burrow with a more critical eye than that brother right there, Chris Canty. If Joe Burrow passes gas, Chris Canty gonna know about it. That's how bad it is. You understand? So he better be ready. Yes, the answer to this question is Joe Burrow.
Wow.
I was going to go to Woody, but
Truth.
Do you want to defend yourself?
I have to defend myself.
Do you feel a little attacked right now?
Nothing to defend. It's the truth.
Stephen A., in my defense, I just want to watch Joe Burrow have an opportunity to play meaningful football. It's something that we haven't seen in 3 years because they ain't been in the playoffs the last 2 seasons.
Okay.
And
so what I lie about?
No, you didn't lie. I'm not being critical toward Joe Burrow as much as I'm critical toward the Cincinnati Bengals not getting into the postseason. Now, based on how they've built the team, Joe Burrow is going to have to be the catalyst for all of that in an outsized way, more so than any other franchise quarterback because of how the Bengals have allocated their resources. I was only pointing out the fact that the Cincinnati Bengals spend more on offense than any other team in football relative to percentage of cap. That means your defense ain't an excuse. And that's all I'm saying when it comes to Joe Burrow. But the answer to the question, Molly, is that the expectations have to be greater for Joe Burrow. Yeah. We've seen him get to the Super Bowl. We have proof of concept. We know he's that dude. Very few quarterbacks can spin it as good as Burrow. You had Troy Aikman on the Monday Night Football broadcast waxing poetic about Joe Burrow. That's why I was screaming at my television for Zach Taylor to get him the hell out of the game, because I didn't want him to get hurt. I enjoy watching Joe Burrow play football, but to whom much is given, much is required. The Cincinnati Bengals have given him $70 million a year in 2 wide receivers. Damn it, you can't use defense as the excuse in terms of not getting to where you think you should go, which is the playoffs.
Woody, did I not accurately assess CC right there? Did I not accurately assess him?
Oh, yeah, because I've been hearing that from CC for I don't know how long now. Like,
exactly.
If there's one person at this network that's going to get in on Joe Burrow, it's going to be CC. There's no question about it.
No doubt.
But look, but you know what? I am so disappointed in both of y'all. Like, is Joe Burrow the reason that the Cincinnati Bengals didn't go to the postseason? Like, come on, guys.
No.
Like, Joe Burrow literally put up. Joe Burrow, if he had any type of defense, Joe Burrow probably would have won MVP last year. We probably won MVP last year. See, you know this. Like, the defense was absolutely atrocious. But I'm going to get back to the question. I'm going to get back to the question. I'm going with Jayden Daniels. And here's why. Okay? For I don't know if you guys know this, but for everyone out there, I grew up a Washington Commanders fan. The Washington Commanders have been utterly putrid for 20, 25 years. And all of a sudden, Jayden Daniels comes in and flipped this thing on his head, the whole organization on his head. He's a bona fide star Like we got Jayden Daniels right now as like a top 5 quarterback in this league. That's how beautiful that dude performed last year. But remember a couple years ago when we were saying the same thing about a quarterback down in Houston, C.J. Stroud, and then in the second year, he didn't perform up to the expectations that he had.
That's not fair.
Now, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. I can't ask the question. I'm not saying there wasn't circumstances that surrounded C.J. Stroud, but he didn't perform up to expectations.
That's totally unfair.
All I'm saying,
that's totally unfair.
Fair.
That's totally unfair.
It is fair.
It's not fair.
You mean to tell me that I, as a guy who grew up a Washington Commanders fan, wants to see Jayden Daniels do it again the second year in a row? Is that what's wrong with me asking that question?
Can I answer your question? Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
It's very unfair, especially coming from you with your big ass self. Come on now, you know the importance of protection. You know Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Stephon Diggs all go down with injuries. All 3 of them went down with injuries and missed a combined 7 games. He had an offensive line that couldn't protect them either. I mean, come on, you can't do that to CJ like that. You know that. Come on now. Nobody was sacked more than him outside of Caleb Williams.
So you making excuses?
No.
So you making excuses? You making excuses for him?
Hold on. My brother, I'm answering your question. I'm saying to you, damn, if you ain't got nobody to throw the football to because everybody hurt, all right, and you got second unit cats that can't get open and an offensive line that can't protect you, what the hell are you supposed to do? Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, when you look at Jayden Daniels, he's in his second year, Woody. His second year, and you gonna take away, and you not gonna have his number 1 weapon available to him, and you just gonna gloss over that? You're gonna ignore that? Don't be like that, man. That's being cruel. Now that's being totally unfair. Totally.
So you make the excuses though. He didn't have, his offensive line was terrible. He was missing receivers. Well, hell, Joe Burrow didn't have a damn defense. Joe Burrow out there scoring 30, 35, 40 points in the game. What more can the man do out there to try to get his team to win?
The question is bigger expectations. And what I'm saying is what can't happen because your defense is trash, combined with you insisting on and ultimately getting your receivers money, what can't happen is that you go out there and play less than what we saw last year. That's what can't happen with Joe Burrow. That's all I'm saying.
I got high expectations for Jayden Daniels and the Commanders because I truly think they're a Super Bowl contending team. With that defense of the Cincinnati Bengals, do I think they're a contending team?
Gentlemen, I love the passion.
Not in the same vein as the Commanders.
We all have a job to do, and this is mine. Coming up. Will this season be the Patrick Mahomes revenge tour? Coming off their crushing loss to the Eagles in the Super Bowl, someone here thinks that may work against the Chiefs. What if they win the Super Bowl and Taylor